Hi everyone, Nathan here from Mighty Lancer Games, and welcome to our stream this evening. So hello to everyone in chat. Fizzy Wizzle, hi, and Pete the Priest, thank you for joining us. The Bald GM, hi there. Mr. Perks, hello. Mighty Lancer, hello Mighty Lancer.
Oh, hello.
And Moxidon, hi Moxidon, good evening. Hope you're all okay, you've had a great day today. It's been a busy day for us at Mighty Lancer. It's the first day that all of our staff have been back in the building after enforced time off, shall we say, and everybody's started getting the place ready for reopening, hopefully next Monday. So it's been a busy day, a bit of dusting and spring cleaning and what have you, and the rest of this week's going to be spent making sure that we've got all the shelves stocked with fantastic new products and everything ready for the doors opening next week. So it's been a busy day so far, and now we're going to relax by doing a bit of painting, hopefully get this orc finished, and then maybe we'll get moved on to the next project, which is giant maggots. So there's giant maggots coming two in a pack, and they're from the Bones Black range. So this is one that I've liberally blathered with brush on primer earlier on. Oh look, there's me in an egg basket. That's, so here we are, pack of two giant maggots, and these are one of the figures that we put in our sub box. You want to know the exciting world of shipping? I'm sorry, Mr. Perks, I'm not.
You probably said excited about you. You probably just.
Did I? Oh, I don't know.
I wasn't listening to you.
Yeah. I don't know. I do apologise. You might have to elaborate on that one, Mr. Perks. Very sorry. But so we're going to crack on with doing a little bit of painting, and then I will keep an eye on the chat and hopefully answer any questions. And Mrs. MLG here is alongside me, and she'll chip in and help out wherever possible. So we're going to get straight on. What I'm going to do to start off with is these silver areas here on the breastplate and on his chest plate, should we say, and his shoulder and on his shield there are very, very bright. So I'm going to begin with some Reaper steel wash, but any like dark black wash like a Null Oil or something like that would suffice here. So we're just going to get a bit of that, and I'm not going to put it on the wet palette, I'm going to put it on my dry palette, which I'm going to leave mostly off camera because it's aluminium and it's a bit shiny. So just going to put this little bit of this in. Oh no, it's blocked. It's blocked. Sorry. How can I make my green glow more? Ah, yes, I understand. How can you make your green glow more? Well, which green are you using, Pete? Because there's, depending on what you're trying to do, then I might be able to suggest a couple of different things. If you're using something like Tesseract Glow from Games Workshop, then putting it over a pure white or a very bright silver can really make it pop. But if you're painting with something like a moot green or whatever, then I would just stick to the white. So
you did a YouTube video of different base colours for Tesseract Glow and how that affects the overall colour, didn't you?
We did indeed, yeah. That's very true.
It's very true. I mean, I could probably put a link in, but you've nicked my other screen.
Yeah.
So,
oh.
Hang on.
There we go.
Oh, you carry on.
Ah, yes, and to answer your question, Mr. Perks, yes, we were discussing shipping rates and how to, because we've rolled out our new website today. Oh, excuse me. We've rolled out the new look website today, which is new and exciting and cool, and it's been great. We've had some fantastic feedback. Thank you all for how it looks and the functionality. And so just in the back office side of things, we were discussing the shipping rates and how we make those appear when people get to checkout. and what have you, but nothing really truly exciting. We have reduced the price. One thing that is worth mentioning is we've reduced the shipping rate that we used to have implemented as a surcharge for spray paints. So we had to have a different shipping rate because we were having to ship everything with UPS, and UPS were charging us a handsome fee for sending aerosols. So we had to increase our shipping rate to cover the cost. We didn't make any profit out of it, we just charged essentially what UPS were charging us. But now we've switched over and we're now sending them all with DHL, and not only are we getting a better service because they're giving us a photo proof of delivery, which is something that UPS weren't doing, but we are now paying less for the privilege. So fantastic that we're not paying as much, which means that we can pass the savings on to you, the customer, and also we get a better quality of... You're right there, Mrs.
No, I can't. I've
So-
put glue on it there, so you have to...
Alright, so I bought Mrs. MLG this... oh yeah, it's stuck on where it is, isn't it? I bought Mrs. MLG this... I think we might have to trim him slightly, to be fair. This WizKids Tyrannosaurus Rex as an Easter gift, seeing as we're trying to be healthier and not eat as much chocolate.
I'd eaten all my Easter eggs already before we gave it to me, is what you're trying to say?
And I thought that we... I thought that maybe... Oh yeah, it's got a little bit of a join line, hasn't it? We're not going to be able to get that truly flush. You might have to get a bit of liquid green stuff in there or something.
Oh.
But this... Well, yeah, it's up to you. So this awesome WizKids T-Rex, this was Mrs. MLG's Easter gift, and it looks awesome. If you look at him head on, he looks like he's doing like jazz hands or something. Rah! But I think he's absolutely fantastic. Let's show you the sizing of this chap compared to the orc, and this orc is a large mini. Anyway, he's quite big compared to a normal human. This is a nice figure, and $14.99 for one of these amazing dinosaurs. I think you'll agree that he is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Apart from that, I don't know. I can't force it on any further. So, yes. So let's get back to Pete the Priest with his question. Yeah. So I'm going to put some wash on here while I'm talking about. What do you call it? Those things. That guy. Green. So yeah. So if you can't get it right over, so Stormhost Silver is, I think, is possibly the brightest that GW do. I could, if anybody wants to chip in with a different option. But Runefang Steel is kind of like the standard, and I think Stormhost Silver is the brightest. But I like to use the Tesseract Glow over either a pure white. So I'm currently using, for my go-to white, Green Stuff World Nuclear White, which is really nice and crisp. Or the other option is to put it over the top of a Vallejo, which I've done, a Vallejo Silver. So I use the, I believe it's just called Steel, but it's a really bright, really bright silver. Yeah, that's it there. Which is this. So this is from the Air range, but I use this to brush paint it on. So when we've done it, and I think we might cover that over in the video. Oh, there you go. If Mr. Perks, if you want to go the extra mile, undercoat with white, glaze a glowy green on, glaze pure yellow in your hotspots, and dot with white for the extreme glow. That sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? Might have to give that a go. So yeah, so Vallejo Air, but I brush it on because it covers really nicely. You don't have to thin it out. It's just covers really well, whether you airbrush it on or you brush paint it on. So something like that comes out like a really nice bright silver. If you can see the sort of colour of the bottom of the pot there, that's kind of the finish you're going to get and then with the Tesseract Glow or a Moot Green or even the Hex Ray Flame over the top of that, you get a really nice colour. So thank you. So we're going to go just over these armour panels here and the beard of the axe with this steel wash, and then I'm going to move on to doing something with the fur that I's got wrapped around him while the wash dries. So I'm just going to...
In our Discord as well, Eat the Priest, we've got a painting questions channel on Discord, and loads of people in there that can help out. If you've got any questions and we're not live, then just come in there and chat, and there's loads of people like Mr. Perks with lots of knowledge that can help you out as well.
Super.
Derailed your...
No, not at all. You chipped in just as I was taking a moment. Right, so that's gonna. Oh, I need to do the inside edge of that shield as well. There we go. So we'll just do the inside edge of the shield there with this steel wash, and like I say, like a Nuln Oil or something should suffice here if you haven't got this, which is like a sort of heavy grey, really. This steel.
So what's this mean from?
So this is if you've only just joined us and you've not seen this before. So this is 77430. This is the Orc Slayer, and he's a burly chap from Reaper Miniatures, and he's out of our sub box that we do every month. So this chap was out of February's, wasn't he? I think so. February's.
Yes. Yes. And the maggots are...
And the maggots that we're going to move on to after this are from the March box. So he's looking pretty good. That's toned down the really bright silver there quite a bit. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on and I'm going to put some leather brown, some Vallejo leather brown, and I'm going to dry brush that over the fur here that's around the bottom of his chainmail. So I'm going to do that before I then move on to highlighting with a bit of a dry brush here on the chainmail. So we're just going to put a bit of that on there. So we're finished with the palette, and we're going to move on to the wet palette. Now I've been doing a little bit of experimenting with my wet palette recently about how much water I put on the thing, just to try and make sure I get the right kind of mixtures. So today we've gone for heavy water, so we'll see how that pans out. I think my leather brown is running out. There we go. So stick that over there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try dry brushing this, or I am going to dry brush it. I'll give Mrs. MLG her pokey tool back. So what I'm going to use is, I don't have a small dry brush. I've got the GW small dry brush, but that's still quite hefty and will probably obscure most of the figure. So I've got this old Green Stuff World brush, which has got a nice big chunky handle. But as you can see from the tip, I've wrecked it quite a bit by mixing paint and other stuff with it. So I'm going to use this as the dry brush for the thing. So I've just got a bit of paper towel. I'm just going to get a bit of this paint loaded in and brush most of it off. As per my recent YouTube video, and then we're just going to dry brush that onto that other brown, which I think we used russet brown last week on that, if I remember correctly.
I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lauren to yourself.
So, just like that. So, dropped him. Dropped it.
Is that your Baldur's Gate reference?
Yeah. That's it. So, we've recently been playing a little bit of Baldur's Gate on our Nintendo Switch, which was my Christmas present. Not the game, not the Switch. Little Miss MLG's Switch. Oh, thank you, Pete. We'll finish the last mouthful of my tea. Thank you very much. Oh, super. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I think I might just use a bit of this leather brown on the haft of his axe there as well. Let's do a bit of that.
Okay, I'll let you.
So, where was that? Baldur's Gate. So on Baldur's Gate, the character that we're playing is a dwarf. Butterfingers today. Butterfingers. Good job he's not a metal mini. He might have come apart in that. Baldur's Gate. Sorry everybody. So Baldur's Gate. So we've been playing a bit of Baldur's Gate, and the character that we're playing as is a dwarf, and you get to choose the voice of your character, and they always say some kind of sample phrases. And one of the things that he says is when you try and give him too much to carry, which I do all the time because I like picking up all the loot. He goes. It says something like, "I've got no room for this. Dropped it." There you go. That was my best possible impression.
He sounds like what's he called? Pete.
Yeah, it sounds like Pete, who is supposed to be a cat, but we've always thought was a dog.
He's a Disney cat.
From like Disney, and if you watch any Disney TV, like the new stuff, like Mickey Mouse's Fun House or something like that? I can't remember what it is, but it's something that we've watched because Little Miss MLG was young, and he's one of the characters on that. Oh, no, it's the other thing as well, the road race thing. Mickey's like road race, whatever it was. Anyway, so yeah, he's an old character who's been around for a long time, and he's normally like the junkyard owner or whatever in like Mickey Mouse cartoon. So it's that kind of voice. Anyway, I've gone on a bit of a rant about Mickey Mouse and Pete, and
but that's what your character sounds like in Baldur's Gate.
I've got no room for this. Dropped it.
So is that every time you drop your mini on the floor now you're gonna be?
Yeah, maybe I should say that. Hi Naz Teeb, thanks for joining us. I think the new Citadel painting handles are 100 times better than the old one. Obviously, I still use the old one, so I've got an old one here, and they still serve the same purpose, but I prefer the new one, despite the fact I've dropped it twice this evening, but I prefer the new one because it's so much easier to hold, and you can roll it in your fingers like so easy, because this thing's like just, can't spin that around and move it around quite as much as this other one. And I like that this is a bit more indented than the bottom there. It's, I think it's a vast improvement. Well worth that extra, whatever it is, £1 that we have to charge for them now. But
Reaper John, hello.
I think it's a fantastic.
Reaper John's following me.
Oh, thank you, Reaper John, for following us.
Royalty in the house.
Yeah. Thank you.
You have to be on best.
I know. I've got to say good things about Reaper. So buy Reaper figures.
You were.
Buy Reaper figures. They're amazing.
Yeah.
So where am I going next? I've gone off my thread now.
Well, why don't you have a posture check from Sir and calm your little self down?
I know.
So there's a couple of more people in now. Why don't you explain what you do?
So I'm getting a bit warm. I might have to take my hoodie off.
Oh, it's stripping off.
I know.
Stripping off. What are you doing?
I'm too warm.
Do I have to change the rating of the show now?
Yeah. See, I knew it was going to be a cold day today, so I wore my thermal t-shirt. Right, let's. There we go. Get comfy. Have some more fluids. Got myself all warm and excited.
Well, you know how it is.
Yeah. So, excuse me. For anyone that's just joined us, let's give a bit of a rundown of what we're doing. So we're painting 77430 Orc Slayer here, and we're hopefully going to get him finished in the next 40 minutes and move on to some giant maggots.
And what are these?
Did I flashed in giant maggots a bit quick? So giant maggots 44105, I think. Hi Wicked D, thanks for joining us.
So what are these things from?
And these minis are minis that we put in our like sub box that we do as a bit of a bonus service, if you like. So you can pay us £20, and including UK shipping, we send you a box that's got £25 at Mighty Lancer Games' prices of minis that we send out. Reaper minis, yeah, Reaper Bones minis, very true. And we send you those through the post, and then you get a fantastic box full of figures that you can paint and use for your RPGs and what have you.
And why do we do Reaper minis?
Because they're ace! We're not just saying that just because like Reaper John's it.
No, we do really like Reaper. We paint them ourselves, and Little Miss paints them. She makes her own YouTube videos of her painting them and everything. We do they're very good. Affordable, great sculpts, awesome range. Oh, you know, it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
And in the sub box,
split.
We have so many different ones that you can use them for all sorts of things, like your D&D campaigns, or just painting, or to join in with the Reef Challenge Reef class.
That's it. Yeah.
Because we enjoy doing that as well. I'm not sponsored by Reaper at all.
So no, not at all. So next we're going to put a bit of a highlight on the skin. So what we're going to do, so we base coated his skin with here forest green.
Oh, it's snowing!
Snowing now, yeah.
Snowing now.
Forest green, and then what we're going to do is we're going to mix a little bit of that with some Christmas wreath, which we've got, which was one of the Christmas holiday colours. So we're going to use that, and then we're going to work up to a final highlight of Christmas wreath to make his skin nice and bright. So I've got a little bit of both of those on the palette, and we're just going to mix some of those together. So who did I say? Oh, Scythian said that he was going to might buy this orc tonight. I would highly recommend these Bones orcs. Wicked D says she's going to buy loads of figures.
Awesome.
Yeah. So these orcs, there's several orcs in the same style available, and they make great monsters for your like D&D games and what have you. Other things, they're really nice chunky models. They're a good height, great burly orcs, fantastic. So we're just gonna give him a little bit of a highlight on his raised muscle areas.
So did you get to do any painting yet then, Crafty Gobber? I'm going to attempt to do some painting later on.
Oh yeah.
We normally stream for about an hour, Reef John, even though sometimes we do go over because Mr. Emoji gets very excited about painting.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'm on a roll, we don't want to stop.
And we stream our sub-box minis on a Monday and miniature painting on a Wednesday.
Yeah. So currently, before I get too deep into painting skin, let's just cover it for anybody that wasn't with us last Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
So what we're working on currently on Monday is this guy, and then we're going to move on to the giant maggots. But on Wednesday, we are painting Frixis, where we're attempting non-metal copper.
Attempting being the strong word.
So I've started on this leg here, and I've not touched it between last week and this week. So we've started working our way up here and onto the chest. So he's definitely a work in progress. And like I say, I've not touched him at all since we did a bit of work on him last week. But he's going to be an ongoing project for a couple of weeks, I think, at least.
Yeah, and that's on a Wednesday at 8 o'clock UK time.
So.
Crafty Gobbo's getting the maggots out ready.
We best crack on with this orc then, so we can get on to moving some maggots. So Crafty Gobbo, we've undercoated our giant maggots with just some brush-on grey primer from Reaper Miniatures, of course. So feel like we've got to.
No, we don't, because we
talk about them.
Anyway, so dirt really good. Yeah. And you put a couple of things in the Reaper Challenge League last month, right at the end.
I did. Yeah.
Are you going to do it properly this month?
I am. I'm going to submit the figures that I've painted so far this month later on.
Open today, and I was the first one to put a submission in.
Well, yeah.
Well, I've been waiting.
And what did you submit?
The theme, the vampire,
yeah.
and my monster.
All right. Oh, you crab.
No, that's for
So what monster did you submit?
the ball.
Yes.
That you went, oh, you could paint this for my Frostgrave campaign, couldn't you? That would be very nice.
Yeah, it's good. Good. We needed a boar. We've got a list of figures that I require for my Frostgrave.
Yeah. Frostgrave campaign that's taking over our lives.
Yeah, well, once it's done, it's done.
But because I'm trying to do this ludicrous challenge of painting a miniature a day, as a brand new painter who has only painted so far 94 miniatures, because there's been 94 days.
Oh no, you can't exclude the amazing Gormor that you painted previously.
2 miniatures before this, but I'm not the best painter on it. So we...
Like second figure ever that you painted and you got trolled for...
Yeah, I did get trolled. But, so we're doing this miniature a day, so I said to you, didn't I, that if I could paint something that would be useful, then that would be a lot better than me just painting things that look cool and then not actually having any purpose for them. So using the Reaper Challenge League to inspire me as to what to paint, because I don't play any of the games unlike Mr. MLG, and then painting some of your Frostgrave things for you as well, aren't I?
Yeah, which is absolutely fantastic, because there's a whole bestiary worth of monsters, and also things that we are going to use for various Dungeons and Dragons campaigns and different things when we get back to being able to run events in store, because we always need minis for the table for those. So, oh no!
What?
Well, I went to I don't think it's actually gone that bad, apart from the fact I've mashed the end of my paintbrush.
Tell me what you're talking about.
So I slipped and dropped my mini, and then and then I mashed my paintbrush into his armour on the back. But I don't think I had such little paint on the end of my brush. It's not actually made a massive amount of difference.
So maybe we should. I think I've spelt the name of this stream wrong. I think I missed the P off. So it actually says we're ainting. But maybe we should change it to chucking Reaper miniatures around.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. They're bones, so they're fairly indestructible.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Perks. Yes, I'm trying. I didn't actually think that I would get this far. I thought maybe do a month and then I might, not get very far. But 94 days in.
Yeah,
I'm doing quite well.
You're doing absolutely fantastic. You're doing amazing.
Oh, thanks, Crafty Gobbo. Came for the painting, stayed for the painting.
Yeah.
I didn't realise I'd completely missed the P off. I think you can change it, but I don't know how. So it's just going to stay.
It's going to stay as ainting.
It's for all those curious people that go, what's that? Let's go and find out what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's painting.
Hopefully it'll be absolutely fun. Oh, best have a hydrate. Thank you. Oh, excellent.
What have we got? Water.
Yeah, we're just on water this evening. No, I don't think there's much alcohol left in the house.
That makes you sound like a right alcohol.
I know. Well, no, I think I've got a can of beer left, to be fair. But
painting or tainting? Well, yeah, maybe tainting. You never know. What else could it be?
Tainting the minis.
Tainting the minis. Come over to the dark side.
Yeah. So we're just gonna give some will best. So this is as bright a highlight as I'm going to give him on his skin, I think, because I like my orcs to be dark and goblins to be a bit brighter. So that'll do. So this is a mix of Christmas wreath and forest green.
Oh, I do like Christmas wreath.
I know. I think I might have inadvertently picked up your newest pot.
Oh, how very dare.
I know. Heathen.
Yeah.
Right, so maybe I might just make his lip a little bit brighter. Across the top, and just give his face a little bit more.
You have to do a posture check. Wicked D says that you must be hunching.
I must be.
Hunching over. Concentrating.
Yeah.
And do you want you to stretch as well? Oh, it's very demanding, Wicked D. What's on your painting table, Wicked D? What are you on with now?
There we go. So I'm just gonna have to pick a little bit of detail out on his face. You can see his teeth there, which I haven't got the correct colour out for. So right then, what am I doing? A posture check.
And you're stretching.
And a stretch.
Just wants to see that lovely thermal t-shirt that you've got. Is that your gun shot?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a good job I can take the mick out of myself, isn't it? Right, so next we're going to do a little highlight on the other leather areas that we've got on the Mini. So for this, we're going to use some Vallejo, however you want to say it, Flat Earth, which is a lot brighter brown. And I'm just going to use this, don't need a lot of that. I definitely think I need to put more water on this wet palette. Every time I know I have. Well, I thought I had, but every time I use it, it seems to be. I've not put enough on.
It is very warm.
So, Flat Earth is a lot brighter, a lot lighter brown, more of a almost sandy colour. So we're just going to use that to put a little bit of a highlight on these leather strap areas.
So this is from the Read the Sub box, isn't it?
It is.
We do every month that people can subscribe to. So how do you pick what menu you put in there?
So we have a very large spreadsheet of all the Bones figures that are currently in production, which we update from a file that we get from Reaper very kindly, and so we go through that, and I have this very long list, and then what I do is I go through, because unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to think about it, the way that my brain works retains a lot of information and pictures, so I can remember most of the figures and what they look like, and I look at the list and I look down the numbers and I think like, oh yeah, 44105, that's those giant maggots. I think they're really cool, might like to have a go at painting them sometime. And then I pick all my favourite figures. So we've been doing it for, is it 3 or 4 years?
It's over 4 years now, but yeah.
So we've been running it for 3 or 4 years, and yeah, don't know why I asked and then just like said what I wanted anyway. No,
it's fine, don't worry about it.
yeah, Mrs. is more than used to me by now, sick of me. So yeah, so we've been running it for about 4 years, or just over 4 years, and I'm still finding minis because I like Reaper figures. So I'm still finding minis that I want to put in the sub boxes. So I go down this list and I keep a record of what we've put in previous boxes, so we don't duplicate it. I think up to now we've managed to never duplicate a figure, and we should never really duplicate a mini
because there are so many.
Because there are so many, and we're due to get a whole new wave worth of figures when the Bones 5 Kickstarter stuff reaches retail. So we try and get a decent mix of figures from like some of the older minis that Reaper have done through to some of the newer ones. So one of the figures that was in the March box is, I think it's 77057 Juliet, which is a female spellcaster, which I can tell you up front we won't be painting on stream because Mrs. MLG has recently painted one. And I think that did you do a video that we uploaded to YouTube about painting it?
I don't know.
I think you did. I think you did. So we've already painted that figure, so that won't be getting painted on stream. So we're going to do the giant maggots, and then we'll pick a couple of the other smaller figures. Some stuff that we can get done in approximately an hour, just over an hour. I've lost my thread, haven't I? So how do I pick the figures? So we go down this big list, and I pick all my favourite figures. And
you don't just put in all the rubbish that didn't sound?
No, of course not.
Somebody asked us once if that.
Oh yeah, it's oh no! I've blobbed brown onto his head. How have I managed that?
Because you're not concentrating.
That's a good job. It was very thin down paint. I can almost wipe it all off.
Right. Yeah, no, somebody said to us once.
What I need.
Oh, you must just put in all the rubbishy ones that you can't sell. Well, for one, thank you for the follow. For one, they sell really well, so we don't really have any rubbishy ones because Reaper are awesome. But also, you pick just ones that you really like.
I do, yeah. Yeah. Hi, thank you for following. Sorry, I missed the name up here.
Original Tear John.
Original Tear John. Thanks.
You know I can't say things. So.
Oh, no. Thanks for following us. It's much appreciated. So where are we? We've done his skin. I'm calling his skin kind of finished, unless I do decide that we're going to maybe put a brighter highlight in there. But I think I'm fairly happy with his skin. We've done the leather. That's about as much as that's going to get. And we've done the fur. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do his armour and the steel colour. So what we're going to use next, we're going to move on to, and I'm going to relegate the wet palette over there and move back to the traditional palette. If I turn it, put it this way around, it might not be quite as reflective at the bottom of the screen. So a bit of random shaky arm. So we're going to use some Army Painter gunmetal, which is one of my favourite metallics, because it's a really nice, a bit like I was saying with that Vallejo steel, it's a really nice smooth metal colour. You get some that are quite thick and hard to manage the paint, but this is absolutely fantastic. So we're just going to get most of that off with this old brush that I showed you earlier on, and then we're just going to dry brush that onto that bit of chainmail that we did with the Vallejo gunmetal grey last week as a base colour. So this chainmail, I always envisage chainmail as being quite dark and oily, especially on an orc. Is not really going to take such great care over it, so it might have a bit of corrosion on, but he's going to be moving around regularly, isn't he? So
Moxidon's got their first Reaper sub box.
Oh, excellent.
And I think it's alright if we say as well, Moxidon, that you're a new painter as well.
Yeah.
So
we're looking forward to seeing some of your minis.
So these are first minis, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
And joining in the Reaper Challenge League with us as well, which is cool.
Yeah. So we've got some bits and pieces ready for you. I think we can get those delivered for you tomorrow. Been in the post room today and seen them lined up on the shelf, ready for.
Moxie's going to what
is it? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I do apologise. I do apologise. So
what are you doing now?
So that was. Oh, I missed the top of his axe, didn't I? I know. Right, so we're just going to, this bit at the top of the axe here that I did with that gunmetal last week, so we'll just give that a little brush over, just give it a little edge highlight with the thing there.
Nobody else got snow. Really, really windy out here. We've only had a little tiny flurry of snow because it doesn't settle where we are because the salt air.
There's none on the roof. There was some on the car this morning though.
Yeah, it doesn't settle. We don't
Excuse
get
me.
Excuse
me. So, where are we?
Now.
So now we're going to use some Army Painter Shining Silver as another highlight colour.
You have to hurry up and get on to these maggots.
I know.
How are you getting on with your maggots, Crafty? You're not waiting for Mr. MLG, are you? Am I waiting all night? What colour are you doing your maggots anyway?
I thought we might do a maggot white.
You're just going to do them white? They are excellent value for money. I can't say that. Scythian, is that right? Did I say that right?
Yes.
You know how bad I am at names. Yeah. And with it being a subscription, it's through PayPal, so you can just sign up and cancel, etc. It's not.
Yeah, you can suspend it, I believe, if you so wish. Yeah. So if you.
There's no commitment. You don't have to do it every month. You can just do it for 1 month. There's no. I don't know, force you into it. But yeah, they are cool. Like a surprise on your doorstep of miniatures every month. I mean, what more could you want, really? And they've got tissue paper in them, which Mr. MLG loves.
I love the tissue paper. It's my favourite part. I like the sweets though. I do like the sweets.
No sarcasm there at all. Oh, tomorrow's the first step on the painting journey.
Oh, super. Might have to put a bit of brown or something on that shield, like a bit of a wash of brown on there just to make it a little bit more interesting. It's a bit a large area just to be all silver, I think. Give him a little bit of silver on his boots and on his knee pads, a little bit on the inside of the shield there. Tiniest little bit coming off the brush, but that's what we want.
I did ask Wicked D what they were painting earlier on. They were throwing the backing card away when they put the rubbish away, and can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
We'll have to after showers and discard.
Yeah, definitely. So, do we let anybody join our Discord? Can anybody join our Discord?
All that we ask in our Discord is that everybody is family friendly, because our family business and everybody's family friendly. Everybody's nice. We all help each other out. We don't get any mean, unconstructive criticism. Constructive criticism is helpful, obviously. I like getting constructive criticism, so I know what I'm doing wrong. But just being mean for the sake of it, we don't put up with that nonsense.
No.
Yep, it's open Discord, anyone can join.
That's cool. Right. So I think I need a white to pick out.
Says maybe an elf paladin.
Pick out his teeth and his eyes. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to do his teeth and his eyes. Yeah, just.
Cool.
So white, we're going to use some 9039 Reaper Pure White. But any white will do. It's just Mrs. MLG had left this one on the side, so.
That's because that's the one I already used.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to use. And then I'm also going to get handy my Agrax Earthshade, which you'll see here.
Well, we were talking about Agrax Earthshade in Discord earlier.
So we're going to get that ready, because in a minute we're going to use that to put a little bit of brown on this shield area. Oh, in fact, what about? Should I put some like blood splatter on it?
Ask them.
Do you think I should put some? Blood splatter on the edge of his axe and his shield. Got some amazing Green Stuff World coagulated blood.
Yeah, yay for blood! Yeah.
Super. Right, we'll give blood a go in a minute. Would you mind going and getting it for me?
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Go and get it for me.
Yeah. So just need to see if I can.
Just to make you quiet.
No, not all. See if I can pick out some teeth without painting his entire face. There we go, super. And then, should we risk an eye? Do you think I should risk an eye? We're gonna go for it. Dive in. Oh, there we go, there's one eye. Two eyes, there we go.
You got eyes?
Yeah, well, I've given him white blobs so far. So, but I have gone slightly around that one, so... Right then, so what colour eyes do you think orcs should have? Should he have red eyes or yellow eyes? Red eyes or yellow eyes? We'll think about that while we're doing some blood. Let's do some blood.
I've brought you three because you know which one you want.
Awesome. So what I'm going to use is coagulated blood. Pink eyes. Oh, someone suggested pink eyes the other day.
Probably Pink Prince.
Yeah, or yellow. Yeah, I think yellow eyes might be the winner. Yeah. Don't know. What do you reckon, Mrs.? Orange eyes. Oh, orange eyes. That could be good.
Orange eyes. Have you got any orange?
Not on the table. You'll have to pass me some. That's in this room, though. That's a bonus. Right. So here we go. So this is. Hang on. Let me show you what we're using. So this is Green Stuff World coagulated blood. Now, I've used it on my Blood Bowl goblins. So. They also do this one, which is True Blood. Now this True Blood is, and here we've also got the.
True Blood is a television program and a series of books.
Yeah. It's alright. Glistening Blood by Army Painter is very similar to True Blood, and they are both very similar in consistency to Blood for the Blood God by Games Workshop. But we're going to use coagulated blood because it's nice. It's definitely more of a dried blood kind of thing. It's a lot thicker, and I like the effect. So we're going to find an old.
Ian agrees with me. True Blood, good show.
Oh yeah, but it is a bit weird because every time I used to come home from the shop on a night, I would always walk. I just thought it was a program about people like getting together with each other, if you catch me drift.
Quite a lot of that, yeah.
Because every time I came home from the shop on a night time after we'd been like running a D&D session or whatever, whenever it was on, there was always people getting frisky. Right.
Careful, darling.
Yeah, well, that's, I thought that was fairly PC, wasn't it? Right, so this coagulated blood, so we're just going to put that around these spikes here, like he's just bashed somebody in the face with it.
Yeah, see, Mr. MLG always used to watch Game of Thrones, so he can't really talk, can he?
Yeah, but I suppose I got to see the whole programme then, so it was mixed in.
Make more sense. I did used to fast forward past some of the bits in True Blood. I am quite prudish.
So we're just gonna so I want it to look as though he's like smashed somebody proper in the face with his shield. So we're just gonna blotch a bit of that on.
Nice effect.
There we go. There we go. Yeah. So he's whacked somebody with his shield and he's got a good bit of gore on there. And then we're also gonna. I think we might have a bit on the axe. On his axe.
What have you got on your mind?
Yeah. True Blood.
No, the original John. He just used to walk in, go, oh, you're watching that again, and then walk out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then he's also been giving his axe a bit of heavy use recently. So we're just gonna. I remember one of the first minis I ever painted. Anybody remember? Well, I'm sure most people will know of Hero Quest, original Hero Quest by MB Games and Games Workshop. I think it was MB. And if you've seen the hairy bard or whatever it is on YouTube, the best thing about Hero Quest is. That was another terrible impression, but anyway. So if you've ever seen that guy's videos and you know what Hero Quest is, so when me and my brother painted the Hero Quest minis years and years and years ago, everything had as much blood splattered all over their sword as we could, and we didn't have fancy technical paints like this. We just had straight up red paint, so all the swords were bright silver because that was the only paint that we had, and all the blood was just thick red right up the sides of the blade, and it was absolutely glorious because when we played with them we thought it was great. And so long as that's just one thing about painting, is so long as you're having fun, that's all that matters, I think. No point taking yourself too seriously. So and if I could paint, this is one thing, that if I could paint like some of the miniature painters that you see who are doing like amazing shading and all the rest of it, then I would never want to use those figures on the tabletop. So if you can do like a photorealistic finish on a mini, I would be scared to use it and damage the figure. So most of my minis are painted to a tabletop standard, like this little chap here will be, and I'm quite happy with that because then I feel quite confident at using them in games without them getting too scuffed up, because I know I could repair the paint job if necessary. So oh, sorry, I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong looking at the wrong screen. So yeah, we started out with the Humbrol enamel paints as well, Scythian. That was the thing where you had to get the little enamel tins and you'd prise the lid off, and then you'd get a bit of sprue and you'd mix it up to get the consistency just right. And they all smelled, and you had to have terps or something to wash your brushes out with. So we're going to go for, so on his eyes, I'm going to use some Reaper Clear Orange. Now, I've never used this before, so this is going to be cool.
You've never used it before, so you're going to give it a go.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a whirl. I've never used this paint. Oh, look how bright that is. That's awesome.
Nobody can see it.
Look how bright this is.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So
Our Crappy Doggo's first Orcs painted with some sort of battleship grey.
Yeah, I've got a good, there's a good place in my heart for Humbrol paints, but we didn't want to stock the little Humbrol enamels because of the smell, and obviously we try and make things great for the kids. So what we're stocking now, and we waited until they were ready, middle of last year, was Humbrol acrylics in dropper bottles. Mm-hmm. So Mrs. MLG is going to pass me one because we've got some of their grey primer. So the Humbrol acrylics that came in the little square tubs, they've now packaged in dropper bottles, and these are great. So this is the grey brush-on primer, and it works fantastic. So we waited, we held off because we knew we wanted to stock them. As soon as we started stocking a lot more Airfix and Hornby products and what have you, we knew that we were going to get their paint ranges in. So we started off with, we got their paintbrushes and some other bits and pieces, but we were waiting for them to package the paints in the dropper bottles so we could get those into store, and they've been really popular, haven't they?
They have, but we do have so many paints, like the paint ranges that we have, something for everybody really.
There is, and we've got several Vallejo ranges that aren't even listed on the website yet.
Yeah,
So-
if you ever want anything and you don't think we have it, just ask, because it's probably just I haven't actually got around to putting it on the website yet.
So we've got a few listed, but not the whole range. So I'm just going to I've blobbed a little bit with orange. So I'm just going to touch up around his eye there. I think the orange eyes look quite good. Can you see him if I hold him a little bit closer? Oh, the focus isn't great, is it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Wasn't a dig.
Painting. Just give me a minute. That's even worse. There you go.
Well, there we are. So a bit of clear orange over some white just makes it a little bit more interesting.
Slightly, hold him still. Look at that.
Wow, look at that face. Only a mother could love that, couldn't they? Ah!
You're going to show
Awesome.
the shield when you did the blood.
Oh yeah, so let's have a look at his blood splattered shield where he's been mashing up adventurers. So he's ready. That's it. He's ready for his close-up. He's ready for action, Mr. Orc. So I think,
Bring him back out again, Bill.
yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of the Agrax Earthshade. I'm not going to bother putting it over the shield now because I think that blood's done the trick. But I am just going to put a little bit of brown just on his chest plate there, just to darken that down a shade. So I'm just going to use it neat out of the pot, and we're not going to use a lot. I didn't intend that to rhyme, by the way. So, yeah. So just a little bit, and I'm just going to paint it into the join between those plates, just to make the make it a little bit more defined, and then might put a little bit on those spikes. So this is Citadel Agrax Earthshade. So you can see we try and use a whole selection of paints from different manufacturers. I don't use a great deal of Citadel paints, but we do use a few. So there we go. So what do you reckon? I need to paint his base, but I'm not going to make you watch while we paint his base because we're nearly at the end of our hour. So if you'd like to stick with us, we'll start on a Maggot, I think, and we'll do his base. We'll do his base off stream, and then we'll just show you him next on Wednesday or next Monday or something, and show you his finished base. But I'm going to call him done. I'm quite happy with him, really. I like the blood. I like how his skin and his eyes has turned out. He's ready to join his brothers and sisters in the D&D monster box. So let's put him to one side, and then we'll go for some Maggot action. So now I was thinking that I might paint these like a hideous white. So I'm going to use what I'm going to use to start off with is I'm going to use some stone grey from Reaper, and I'm going to paint that over the top of the primer.
You can name him done if you want wicked things.
Oh, so Moxidon, that's an excellent question. So let me just go back to our orc. So how I'm going to paint this chap is I'm going to paint this base to match most of our other figures. So what I'm going to do first is once I've varnished, what I'm going to do is I'm going to varnish the figure first so I can hold on to him without damaging any of the paint. And then once he's varnished and he's fully dry, I'm going to paint his base with black. So this is coal black, another Reaper paint, but any black will do. So I'll paint the base black, and then because I've had him in this stand ever since I undercoated him in the first place, you can see some areas here that are not covered with paint there at the edges. Bye, see you later. Thanks for coming. So paint the base all black, and then we're going to paint it a heavy dry brush with stone grey, and then a final light coating of, which I haven't got here in front of me, but I'll use Army Painter Ash Grey as a highlight. Thanks for dropping by, Mr. Perks. Catch you later. Thanks for coming. ash grey on there, and then a couple of tufts, and that'll be done. And then I'll varnish the base as well, just to make sure that it doesn't get scrubbed or whatever. I'm talking to the screen, I should be talking to the camera, I do apologise. So varnish the base so it doesn't get scrubbed while we're gaming with this figure. So that's what we're going to do, and we'll get that sorted. What we're going to do is a series. Me and Mrs. MLG have talked about doing a series of what to do with your figures, start to finish. Thanks, Mr. Pete the Priest. So, yeah, we're going to do a little series of not painting videos, but like modelling tutorial videos, and they'll only be short, like 2 or 3 minutes. So we did one the other day about dry brushing, the basics of dry brushing. So what we're thinking is, we've done washing your figures previously, haven't we?
Probably.
Yeah, so what we were thinking of doing was like mould line removal. If it's a mini that's on a sprue. Oh, original Turjon says, what's our Discord, please?
I will find it for you while you are
Oh,
talking, my dear.
there you go. So if it's a miniature or model that comes on sprue and you need to glue it together, what's the best way to remove it from the sprue? How do you like cut the lugs off, and how do you mould line remove, or remove mould lines? How do you do that? And then also, let's just put our maggot there so there's something for you to look at in the middle of the screen.
A maggot.
A maggot. Yeah, how do you remove mould lines? What's the best ways to prime your mini? So different alternatives between spray priming and brush paint primer, and a bit of a comparison maybe between different manufacturers, and then what glue do you use to stick your figures together? All those basic things. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's crack on with some miniature painting. So we're going to use stone grey for our base coat on the guy. So is Crafty Gobbo still around? Did he tell us how he was, or she was getting on with our maggots?
Honestly, can't remember that. Crafty Gobbo said, I haven't painted for so long, I've forgotten where to put the brush.
That's no excuse.
It's all those chores that Crafty Gobbo was having to do today, you see.
That's no good. Well, I know that one of our friends sent a message this morning in a little private WhatsApp group that we've got, saying that he was planning on getting some painting done today, but first of all he had to do some 1:1 scale painting around the house. He's got some cracks in walls that he's filled up over the weekend, and he needed to get those painted before he could do any miniature painting. He was trying to be quite good about getting his real world jobs done first. And then he'd sent another message a bit later on saying that he hadn't actually managed to get any of it done, I think, and he just decided that it was beer o'clock instead because he was back to work tomorrow.
So what are you using on that one?
So I'm using Reaper Stone Grey 9086 Stone Grey, just to base coat this little chap.
What you already?
No. So I've undercoated him with grey brush on primer, and now we're going for the next level. So I'm just going to give him an all-over go, apart from the like weird teeth, clawy bits coming out of his face. If I'd have ever thought that maggots had teeth like that, I would never have gone near them when I was younger.
You going near them for it?
You have to use them when you're like fishing and stuff, don't you? No, only like for crabs and things.
We use ham and peas to go for
No, yeah, well they really like smelly stuff, don't they?
This is just what we have. Ham and frozen peas.
They like bacon and smoky bacon and things like that, don't they? That's a good tip if you ever come to the seaside and you want to go crabbing off the harbour.
then I didn't like them once they were on the top.
Yeah.
Trying to chase you. A bit pointless, really.
Yeah, I would agree. I once went fishing using a crab line, but fishing off the pier when I was younger. Went to Catalina Island in the States.
Oh, when you said off the pier, I thought you meant pier.
Oh no.
Not like, being all posh.
No, it was when I was like 10 or 11 or something. I went to stay with my auntie in just outside. They lived just outside Los Angeles, and my uncle. There you go. Here's a reminiscing story for you. So that is of completely no relevance to miniatures or miniature painting, but so went to stay with my auntie who lives just outside Los Angeles, and my uncle was heavily involved through work with the YMCA. In fact, I think he was something like the accountant at the YMCA. So he worked at the YMCA, and part of the thing was that they used to take loads of kids over to Catalina Island, and they had a summer camp on Catalina Island. So we all went on a trip for a week to Catalina Island, and it was absolutely fantastic. Did loads of outdoor pursuits and like treasure hunty things and archery and other awesome stuff. They had like parties and discos and all the kind of things that 10 and 11-year-old kids and older like to do. It was absolutely fantastic, and I'd forgotten mostly about it until I thought about fishing, because I was fishing off the pier with a crab line trying to catch some massive orange fish, and they weren't goldfish, they were something like some proper sea fish thing. And trying to catch some of them when I was a child with a crab line, with my auntie, and we didn't catch anything. I don't think we ever stood a chance of catching anything. I think it was just a way to keep me quiet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should try it again later.
Yeah.
Send you down the harbour with the crab line.
Right. So we've undercoated him nicely grey. So we're just going to give him we'll give him a minute to dry, but we'll move on to some. I'm going to use some weathered stone. So I'm going to give him a dry brush with weathered stone. So now we're going to get out our Citadel dry brush, which in fact I'm not going to use that because it's quite hard. I want something a bit softer. I think I'm going to try out my super soft dry brush. I'm going to try out my special super.
Your makeup brush. Your makeup brush. You've got your makeup brush out, haven't you?
We're gonna use a makeup brush. So this is just a cheap makeup brush that I'm going to use for dry brushing because it's a lot softer than the Citadel one.
Just go in his makeup bag, get out his makeup brush.
Super special, like Mighty Lancer branded, not paintbrush.
Yeah, whatever, darling. We all know it's your makeup brush. It's all
I use it for my blusher on the weekends.
Yeah,
like that, so.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Right then, so there we go. Oh, it's still a little bit damp in the crevices.
Come on.
Ah, no, that's too much paint. No.
That's right, Wicked D. Tint of blue eyeshadow.
Yeah.
I could imagine if you ever did get stuff as you thinking blue eyeshadow would be a good idea.
I'm a lady.
And then I'd have to know.
So there we go. Nice little light dry brush.
Secret safe with us.
Yeah. Nice light dry brush. Or in that case, a bit heavier dry brush. So we're going to go for that. And just.
Hey, I wear bright red lipstick, Wicked D. Not wrong with that.
Yeah. It's good.
When I wear makeup, that once a year, that I might possibly put some makeup on.
So any of you may spot. I'm just gonna do this like quite, so it brightens it up quite a lot. But any of you might spot the glaring mistake that I've made here. which is, and it's because I'm impatient, which is this mould line that runs down the back here. I really should have scraped that off because you can see it as I've dry brushed. You can see that really obvious there. Yeah, so we're just going to pretend. We're going to pretend that that's part of the mini.
Yeah, don't some insects and stuff have those big lines?
Yeah, I think so. So we're just going to pretend that it's part of it. So there we go. So a nice soft dry brush, lighten that up nicely. Yeah, we're gonna change that up a bit in a minute.
Just making sure you know it just looks.
Okay. So we're going to change it up in a minute. We're going to mix the light grey and this white here to make a lot lighter shade.
Like, mixing on your wet palette.
Like that, yeah. That's your excuse for the mould line too. I like it, yeah.
I think it's just part of the miniature. They have that. Some of them have that black line, don't they? Like prawns. Is it prawns? You can see the poo line. That black line that they have.
Is that what that is?
Isn't it? I don't eat seafood, but I always thought it was. I could be completely wrong.
Right. So then, now we've got a lot lighter colour. So welcome back, Scythian. So we'll just go for a brighter colour up there. I'll just give him a all over. And all over dusting.
Dusting?
Yeah, that's what we're calling it. An all over dusting with this brighter grey. And then we're going to give him a moment or two, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a shade over the top of this to give him a bit more colour.
Yeah, because it's still pretty good. Do you want to show him to the camera a bit more?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you hold him still, I will try and make him more focused and things. So.
Yeah, that was good.
What was good?
The way that it zoomed in, then that was like.
Zooming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoom.
What you like? So you can see where you've dry brushed on the top highlights with the lighter grey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
So you can have a nice stretch from Peter Priest, and then
I will have a nice stretch, and then I'm going to ask you to find me a different paint.
What paint do you want?
Oh, so could you go in the cupboard over here and get me some, I think some volupus pink contrast.
Okay, I will try my very best.
So I'm going to turn my wet palette round.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, it's in the shoebox in there. Sorry.
You talked to me.
Yeah. So and the hydrator as well. Thank you, Wicked D.
Oh, yeah, that's it. They're all looking after you.
Yeah. Sorry, I've got delayed reaction. I'm still stretching on my view of me.
Alright. There you go.
Yeah, super.
Is that the one you want?
Yeah, I think so. So we're going to try some. We're going to try and make it. Now we've given him a bit of additional shading on there. I'm going to use some Citadel Colour Volupus Pink contrast paint. So he's quite a light grey to start off with, and then we've lightened it up to almost white, haven't we? So I'm going to try painting a bit of this on, but I'm going to thin it down ever so slightly. And I'm just going to thin it down with some water. So we're going to put this onto the wet palette here, and I'm going to get some water on there, and then we're going to get some Volupus Pink and stick it in here. So that should be enough, and then we're just going to thin it down. We've got a couple of brush loads of water there.
Flag 72 has followed you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Did you not get a little dancey thing?
I had my face down here looking at Volupus Pink, I'm afraid.
Face in the pink.
So,
thank you.
Yeah, thanks for following. Thanks for joining us.
When we get to 100 followers, we've got a giveaway.
We have. That's very true, and we must be getting close to 100 followers now.
I don't know. If I'm honest.
Yeah, so I think we must be getting close. So it's almost time for the giveaway. Right, so I'm going to find my flat brush. So I've got this is a Green Stuff World #1 synthetic flat, which I'm going to use to liberally apply our watered down Volupus pink all over the maggot.
But before you do that, you're going to have posture check.
Am I? Okay, right.
Oh, 91, thank you.
Oh, super, thank you. Right then, so Volupus pink, and we're just going to apply that all over, and it should settle nicely in the recesses and give our little wormy chap a little bit more going on. So normally I try and paint figures and monsters and what have you in some quite muted colours. I don't normally go for anything too bright and garish, so I thought we might try something a little bit different here. Spare of the moment.
Yes.
Spare of the, you weren't expecting this, were you?
I wasn't. No, you said you were going to do it in white.
Yeah.
But why not? No, you know.
Well, it's because Pete the Priest and other people have suggested in recent streams that we paint everything should be pink. So I thought we'd go for a bit of pink.
Can I ask a question?
Of course you can, my darling.
Obviously, I am a new painter, so I don't understand everything all the time. Why did you do all the dry brushing and then paint over it all with pink?
Right. So the way that contrast paint works is it.
Keep it on to me.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. So the way that contrast paint works, it's like a bit like a wash, but it's not quite a wash. So it's kind of an intermediate between a wash and a glaze and an ink, and it's
Sorry,
and it's a heavy mix of colour that is suspended in the medium. So as you can see here, it's falling quite nicely into the recesses of the model, and is excellent for a model such as this. Now, where it's got a lot of recesses and detail. So the reason that I did the dry brushing to lighten it up from the grey that I'd originally applied was just to make the highlights, when this settles and it dries into the recesses, that those lighter points that we dry brushed up will appear brighter or lighter in colour than the darker shades in the recesses. Now, one thing that you've got to do with contrast paints is where you've got a large flat surface, like you can see here, where there's a little bit of a flat spot and that colour was just pooling on the surface there. You just need to kind of manage that around, because we don't want that to occur. So
you don't just want one lump of pink.
No. So we really want to make sure that the colour. So we've got a smaller brush again now, and we just want to make sure that the colour settles in these kind of detail areas here, but not that you're getting any kind of flat spots. So it wouldn't be ideal to paint something that was like a heavily armoured figure, or you wouldn't paint a vehicle, a tank or a jeep or something with this kind of paint, because you would end up with these large patchy areas. You really need to kind of manage it a little bit. I didn't think that it would have so many flat spots, to be fair, on this, and there's only had a couple really. So when that dries, and I don't know if you can start to see it already, but where we highlighted it, like along these edges here, just going to paint a little bit more into that recess there, but along these lighter edges, can you see on the camera the differences? Yeah, let me see if we can trying to get like technical here. But these are really kind of beginner techniques, if you like, because it makes it easy. Oh, there we go, super. It makes it easy for you to make your miniatures look like you've done a lot of highlighting or whatever and subtle glazing and shading, when you haven't really. You've just done a simple dry brush and then whacked a bit of contrast paint over the top. But on these raised edges where the colour is a lot lighter, and on the edges of the folds there, that this will dry lighter than the area that's more recessed, and it should look absolutely fantastic. So we're just going to I'm going to pass it over to Mrs. MLG to put near the radiator to make the contrast paint dry, and I think what we might do is quickly do the other one the same, if nobody minds watching me just replicating the effect. So that was Volupus Pink.
But there's a lot of contrast paints, isn't
there? Yeah, so
they all work in the similar kind of way. We did a YouTube video where you painted some horses in the various browns, didn't you? So that you could see what they dried like on the same kind of miniature. Yeah. Because it's quite difficult to see what they're going to dry like, basically. Not when they're in a bottle, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, and for example, as one of the chaps that works in the store for us asked me the other day, I'd shown him a picture of the skeletons that I painted. Now, you might, if you're a member of our Discord, you might have seen the skeletons that I've recently been working on. They're the ones that we did on stream a couple of Wednesdays ago. So I finished those and put them on our Discord page the other night. And one of the chaps that works in the shop asked me what I'd use to paint them, and when I told him that I'd use Skeleton Horde contrast paint on for the base coat or whatever, he was quite surprised, because when the picture, the stock image of that you see everywhere of Skeleton Horde contrast paint, it looks a completely different colour to what it actually looks like outside the pot. And the same is true with a few of these contrast paints, because the stock image is often a digital render. You don't get a true realisation of what the colours look like. Some of these you really need to see them kind of in the flesh. So that's...
So I put on a picture of your skeletons onto our website on the contrast paint picture to try and help people.
Oh, that's a good idea.
See what it is.
That's good. Maybe
it looks like milk on the picture.
Yeah, maybe we should put our maggot picture on as well.
Yeah, but the reason I did it with the skeletal horse is because it doesn't look anything like. The bottle doesn't look anything like. Thanks, Goldgem. Thank you.
Thanks for dropping by. See you soon.
Yes. We always run over. We're not very good.
Yeah. Right, so we're going to leave that chap to dry a minute. How's our other guy doing?
I don't know.
Well, your dinosaur's looking good, sweetheart.
It's not. It's really bad. I've got him caught now. It's just he hadn't dried it.
He hadn't dried it. Oh, okay.
No, my dinosaur's not.
It is. It looks awesome. Can I show everybody?
No.
Awesome. Oh, show everybody your boar.
Oh,
so this is the dire boar that Mrs. MLG painted for me. Rubbish. It's awesome. Mrs. MLG painted this dire boar for me the other day for my Frostgrave game. Everything's for Frostgrave, and he looks
rubbish.
Particularly awesome. No, he doesn't look rubbish. He looks great. It's exactly what I wanted. I showed her a reference picture from the Frostgrave rulebook, and you've done an amazing job. It looks fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So. Yeah, so what am I going to do now? Because this guy's not dry and that guy's not dry.
It's not dry there, you see.
Yeah, I can still see he's a bit wet. Well, we might have to leave him till next Monday, because it's almost 9:30, isn't it?
Oh, no, you've got loads of stuff you could talk about.
What am I going to...
You've got a brand new website that went live today.
Oh, yeah.
Which has at least two awesome features, being D&D and picture gallery.
That's true. Let's just waffle a bit about... Let's waffle. Let's pad for time. Pad for time. So I'm going to put my amazingly painted orc there while I just talk briefly about our new website. So we've got a fantastic new website we've launched today, and it's got a couple of absolutely amazing features on it. We're really proud of. So our web designer has created a fantastic feature, which is a character generator for D&D, and if you can either put in some basic requirements, or you can randomly generate a figure. Thank you, Mrs. MLG.
Alright,
So you can randomly generate a D&D figure, and it currently serves you images of WizKids minis, and in the future we're going to incorporate some of the Reaper character figures and things into there as well. So, and somebody, I think, has suggested today that we have a name generator attached to it. Mrs. MLG's suggested, I don't know whether a customer had suggested
no, it's just me.
So yeah, random character name generator as well, which would be particularly cool. So we're gonna look at incorporating that, and another amazing feature that we've done is a customer gallery of basically your minis that you've painted and you would like to submit, and we will append them into our customer gallery, and where you're happy to, we will also appropriate them to the product pages that they relate to. So if you send us a picture of a Tau Fire Warrior that you're particularly proud of, we will put him in the customer gallery, and then we'll also use that picture as a product image in the Tau Fire Warriors listing, so you can see. Oh, we've got a YouTube video that shows our mobile site, have we?
Yeah, possible.
No worries. Thank you, Naz. Thanks for joining us. Take it easy.
I love the way that you don't know what I do.
It's 'cause I knew that you'd been like
It's just a short. It's just a short. It's just a really quick short on YouTube that kind of shows the scrolling of the homepage, but it's on mobile because I filmed it on my phone.
Right. Awesome. Thanks, Moxidon. Thanks for dropping by. Sorry, we've run over time again. I do apologise.
Like always.
Yeah. Oh, Maggots ready for action. So yeah, we'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Thank you. Right then. So here we are with our maggot, and he's almost dry. There's a little bit of wetness still here, but we're not going to be doing too much more with this nice pinky colour. So if you can see, let me just hold him in one position instead of rolling him around. Yeah. So can you see? I guess the. Oh yeah, a bit of hailstone, a bit of snow.
Bobo's done one. They're beating you.
Yeah.
He's beating you. He's doing one maggot.
So, yeah. So can you see now? It's dry or mostly dry. Can you see the variation of colour in the pinks where we did that dry brush? Hopefully you can. Right. So now we're going to move on to these teeth and the little leggy bits. So I think we're going to do those with a bone colour. Have you got a bone colour out, Mrs.?
No.
I'm sorry, I'm woefully unprepared for painting giant maggots. That's awesome. That's awesome. So we'll use some Reaper Tusk Ivory now.
Alright.
Super. Snow on Scarborough Road. Now is that going to hinder the creation of the new roundabout even more? Yeah, because they're going to build all those like thousands of houses out there in town. So can I have the poker tool again? Sorry, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't leave the house.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Because I keep nagging you for paint supplies. Right, so we're going to use a little bit of Tusk Ivory, which is this is one of the paint colours from Reaper that used to be the HD range of paints, and now they've incorporated them into the what's it called? The Bones range, the Bones HD paint range. So they've all kept the names, but they've all got different code numbers. Yeah. Hi Asmo, thanks for joining us. So just gonna get a little bit of water.
Yeah, you need to put some pus on it.
Yeah. Well, we've got some. I think we've got some bile effect.
Yeah. I suppose you want to go and get that as well. Now.
Please.
Oh, it's all right. We're overrun as well. Like
yeah.
Always.
Right then, so we're going to paint these like teeth bits on the ends here. It's alright, they're like singing lyrics at us in the chat. No. We might have to do bile another time. I think it's in a black lid. Oh, Baby Shark. See, I was way behind the times. Until we went to see a pantomime, I didn't even know what Baby Shark was. Because the original John said, do, I bless the rains down in Bridlington.
Oh.
Which I don't know if that's supposed to be like Africa.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
No, don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's annoying. Why you've got
Yeah. I don't know.
You've got disgusting slime.
Oh yeah, well, let's use some of that.
There you go. Disgusting slime.
Thank you, darling. Yeah, we can use some of that, definitely. Do you think we should have some blood for the blood god on our?
Wait, we've done blood.
I know, but should we have blood on the teeth of our maggot?
No, it needs to be slimy and manky.
Okay.
Slimy and manky is better, but I can't find it.
That's alright. We've got disgusting slime. That'll work. Yeah. No.
You must have not put it away.
Puss for the puss god. I like it. Maybe you should suggest that to Games Workshop. That'll be a.
Puss for the puss.
Yeah. Oh, Nurgle's rot. That's what we've got, isn't it? We've got some of that. That's on the subject. That's in the GW paint drawer. That's essentially the same. Sorry, making your life hard this evening.
Alright. Is that in here?
Yeah, it should be.
Just have to talk to him with it somewhere.
I know. Failing miserably at because I'm painting teeth. So my intention was that I was going to paint the teeth areas here at the front. I like this zoomed in looks good.
Well, I can't zoom out.
Oh,
I'm not over there.
Yeah, although everybody can see how bad my paintbrush is. So give it. See if we can coax it back into shape with a bit of a spit. So and then I'm going to paint these little leggy, crawly bits here, and we're going to do that with the same Tusk Ivory. Oh, excellent! Thank you.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, the roof's going white. It must be.
Is it?
Must be coming down.
Oh yeah. I might have to walk to work tomorrow.
I don't think so. I mean, you should, but I don't think it'll last that long. So what are you on with then? What have I missed?
So I'm using the Tusk Ivory to I've painted its like teeth jaws,
Right.
and now I'm just painting its weird little noduly leggy things.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it not proper? Is it not proper snow wicked day? Does it just sound really bad on our roof?
Yeah.
No building snowmen.
No. This is what you get when you live in a tin shed in the garden. Yeah, there is a donation button Yeah.
on our Twitch. You never know, one day we might be able to find a proper house. Oh no, you're all quiet.
I know, I'm sorry.
Now I've come back, you all stop talking. I'm gonna like get a complex.
That's alright. Everyone was enjoying listening to you while you were
chuntering.
Fetching me my painting supplies.
You have to do a posture check now. Pete Priest likes me from sitting up.
I know. It's because I slouch all the time. No, it's terrible posture.
How many legs has he got?
Loads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. 14 legs.
But no guns. That's because you were showing your guns.
Oh, yeah.
You've forgotten about that, haven't you?
Everyone got a free ticket to the gun show.
Free ticket to the gun show.
So,
What now?
right. So that's those basically done.
Cool. What colour are you doing yours, Crafty Gabber?
Yeah. We'll have to see some pictures.
Oh, Crafty can put them in the Discord and then we can have a look. If they want to, obviously.
So, there we are. That's him in all his vileness so far.
It's pretty cool. Fleshy like a worm.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. So, we've got two colours which I think are, they're basically the same, aren't they? We've got Nurgle's Rot and Disgusting Slime. So, I think I'm going to go with... Army Painter Disgusting Slime.
I think Crafty's using
to begin with.
contrast for a bit of variation.
Oh, yeah.
My grandparents lived in a house for 2 years when I was a young kid. After the first couple of times I found the sound of rain on the roof soothing. Many decades later it would keep me up at night, so yes. It's not really a tin roof.
No, it's
glass.
Yeah, it's glass.
It's just, it sounds quite loud. It sounds quite loud to us, I don't know if it actually sounds quite loud to you. You might just be like, I don't know what you're talking about. We can't hear this now. But to us it's quite loud.
So, there we go. Ooh, Disgusting Slime. It's quite gloopy, yeah, I like it.
You like it?
Yeah. So, not going to go...
Yes, it's an orangery, Asma. There's no need for the little quotations of what it's called.
Yeah.
It's where we grow all the oranges.
Yeah. Right. So we're gonna have him. So he's drooling, disgusting slime.
Oh, can you make him do that? Wait, keep it in the middle then.
All right. Sorry.
Can you do drooling?
Well, I don't know how it'll drip, but it's got like a little mouth hole thing in the middle there. So we're gonna have it. So it's dribbling. This is dribbling down out of its face.
Oh, lovely. Maybe I should do one of our shorts, Wicked D, on YouTube. Like we did the sounds of the crashing waves and things. Maybe we should do rain on the orange roof.
So I might complete. I was quite happy with it up to this point. I might completely wreck it now by trying to.
Yeah, but then everyone will know whether it's worth them trying it or not.
Yeah. Disgusting slime.
We were talking earlier on in Discord about your many YouTube video fails.
Oh yes.
That we keep in because it's just part of life. She says that she's chucked a dinosaur across the room. How you chucked your dinosaur into the rose bush.
Yeah.
Your Mr. Perk's favourite YouTube video of you battling with the kit that's designed for a 5-year-old because you refuse to look at the instructions.
Yeah.
And the one where you think that you can be He-Man and open the bag with all the bits in that make up the miniature and then they just fly across the room.
Oh, the giant. Yeah, that was special.
You are.
You're not wrong. Right, so we're gonna cover his belly and his front feet there in this disgusting slime and see what this looks like. Hopefully it'll look pretty cool. Let's give him a bit more around his face.
So what do we all reckon to disgusting slime? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Army paints a disgusting slime.
Disgusting slime.
So
it's quite disgusting, to be fair.
yeah, it looks. There you go. It does. I think it does look like pus, actually.
Oh, that's quite gross. That is actually quite gross.
I wish I'd painted the base a bit better,
Yeah,
so I could
yeah,
like
were you messing that
block. Well, I think I might have to go over the base again and do it again, but on the base. But now I wish I'd got that mould line off on the back. 'Cause now I can see it. I quite like that.
It looks like Dr. Pimple Popper worthy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Wiki D likes watching that weird.
Right.
program.
So let's. I need.
What? You making noises?
I know what I've kind of gone like. Looks like baby poo yellow. Yeah, it does a bit.
Yes, I remember that.
It does a bit. So what I think I need to do is wait for that to dry, and then varnish it, and then redo the base, and then apply a bit more of this thing. I think I really quite like it. I think it looks pretty cool. I was planning on doing a little bit more of a highlight on the teeth and doing something else with that, but I think I quite like it as it is. So it's just drooling all over itself. It's ready to attack. Right? Yeah. What do you reckon? Do you think it looks alright?
It looks cool.
I just need to fix the base. So like the orc, I need to varnish the mini, and then come. So I'm going to have to do it. I think I might just varnish it with gloss varnish, so that you retain the shine of the disgusting slime, and also it'll make the body a little bit shinier, so it looks kind
Are you
of
doing any?
slick. Oh, didn't mean to whack the
Are you
camera.
doing any highlights on the body? Or is that?
No, I think I might just leave it. I think I might just leave it, and then we'll leave it. Because that's
quite slimy.
yeah, because that's like why we did the dry brushing and what have you. So we wouldn't have to do anything extra. Yeah, I mean, come back and like finish the base up. Because this was a bit of a whim to try the disgusting slime. I'm really impressed with how that's come out. So we're gonna. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come back and we're gonna do that.
You've got mould lines on the teeth, Cracky Robbo. You've got mould lines on yours.
Oh, maybe just on that one there. Excuse me. I don't know. It looks like there is on the outside, but they're not on the inside of the tooth. I don't know. Maybe the moulds weren't joined up particularly great on it or something. I don't know. But it does look pretty fab. So we need to do the dry brushing and what have you on this one, because it would be silly if I didn't paint them both to match, wouldn't it? So I'll have to sort that chap out. But we're nearly at the 2 hour point, so I think we'd best call it a night there. And then we'll show this chap off finished on Wednesday, I think.
Yeah.
Quite pleased with how he's turned out, even if I do say so myself.
Talk to people on the camera.
Yeah. So yeah, he's pretty good. I'm going to leave him there, just so you can all enjoy the
Enjoy the gross.
disgusting.
There you go. I'll make it actually in focus for you.
Super. So thanks for everybody for watching. I think we're going to call it a night somewhere around now. And thanks for checking in. Hopefully you'll join us at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, where we're going to be painting Cafrixis. I think that's how you say his name. We're going to be continuing our non-metal painting. Can I get him in shot?
No, because I zoomed in.
Ah, well,
You know,
sorry.
for
I do apologise.
Whatever it
Yeah,
is.
so we're going to be carrying on our non-metal.
Is it non-metal or is it non-metallic?
Well, either will suffice.
Okay. Sorry.
That's all right. So we're going to. I apologise for being curt.
You know. It's
So we're going to carry on painting the metallic metal on on Cafrixis here, and we're going to see if we can get to a stage where we think that it's all right to move on to the next zone. Might even, if we can get this area done here, and get that something finished with that, so we're happy with that. We might even move on to a wing, which will be a challenge.
Ooh, steady on.
So yeah, that's exciting times to come. So I'm going to try something out. I've also got I've got a new thing, new to me anyway. I've got a new paint to try out, which I don't know what I've done with it. Oh, here we go. I've got a new thing to try out, which is some matte medium. Because when I was looking at this the other day, and I was thinking about like how it was going, it's very glossy. So this side of the Mini where I haven't painted anything apart from the base coat yet is still quite a matte finish, but this area where we've been glazing it repeatedly is a little bit glossy. So I'm going to add a little bit of this matte medium into our paint glaze and see if we can make it not quite so shiny. So
that's cool. The original John. It's currently 21.45. If that helps.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you can join us on Wednesday, and we'll try and run relatively to time.
We never run. We always start on time.
On Wednesday. And
hopefully we can get to 100 followers and do the giveaway.
And then we're going to do a giveaway for our fantastic Spellcrow minis.
Oh, everything's happening.
Yeah. So, yeah. Enjoy the rest of your evening or the rest of your afternoon, original Turjon. See you later. Thanks for dropping by.
Thank